So we've got a two-part question. What's your favourite book that you've written, and which one would you recommend to an unenthusiastic reader? From Alia.
Alia, well, what a difficult question to start with. Thank you for that. I suppose my favourite book at the moment, and it changes, is a book called The Puffin Keeper. And I'll tell you why. And I think it's the same with quite a lot of writers. Your favorite book is usually the one that you've just written, because it's still in your head. You're still, in a way, in the process of writing it, because you've lived inside the story, you know, for months and months, maybe much longer for some writers, and indeed it is for me sometimes. And The Puffin Keeper is a story that's very precious to me, because I was asked to write it for the 80th anniversary of the founding of a wonderful publishing house called Penguin. Puffin Books, in fact, a part of Penguin, is 80 years old this year, Puffins. And they said, would you write a story? The reason they asked me is because my wife, Claire, is the daughter of the man who started Penguin Books, a man called Alan Lane, and he started Penguin Books all those years ago. And I think they asked me because I write the stories, and because I was Alan Lane's son-in-law and grew up with Puffins. So I wrote this story, which is set on the Isles of Scilly, off Cornwall, and it's a story of an artist, an old artist, who paints on bits of wood and bits of canvas. He's very poor, and he lives in a lighthouse. And it's a story of the saving of the life of lots and lots of people from a ship that goes onto the rocks. And one of these people is a little boy who he looks after along with all the others he saved. He gives them hot food and wraps them in blankets, and he saves their lives. And the little boy is given a picture before he goes away. And it's the beginning of the story of the relationship between him and this old man, and how it goes on all the way through the young boy's life. And I called it The Puffin Keeper. So that's my favorite book at the moment. If you want to really know why it's my favorite, go and get a copy and read it.
That's brilliant. How long do your characters stay in your brain afterwards? Do they live there forever?
Long. It lingers long. I mean, it's interesting. The main character, the boy is me. He's always me, because you have to sort of grow yourself down to be a child again when you write these stories. That's what I do quite often. But the Puffin Keeper was modeled on a wonderful artist called Alfred Wallace, who was a painter of very, very, what we call naive pictures. He always drew boats, and he always drew the sea. And they're on tiny, tiny little bits of wood. He had absolutely no money to buy anything. The paint was ship's paint, you know? I mean, we're not talking about a great artist in a great studio. And yet he became really famous after he died, particularly Alfred Wallace. And his pictures are now in museums and galleries all around the world. And he was this poor little fisherman painting away in a cottage going half mad. And I used him as my model for The Puffin Keeper. So I always have a model in my head, that's for sure. And they linger long. Now, you wanted to know about the other book that was suitable for an unenthusiastic reader.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Difficult, really, because I'm unenthusiastic. I was unenthusiastic, so I identify with unenthusiastic readers. I quite liked playing outside when I was little, not reading books. I grew into books, and then it became a really good habit. I suppose I would say there's a book called The Butterfly Lion, which is quite short, and that's an important thing for an unenthusiastic reader. It has some drawings in it, which also spreads the text out a bit. It's about Africa. It's about England. It's about a white lion. It's about the First World War. It's a love story. It's about a lion kind of etched out in chalk, cut out of a hillside in chalk, which a boy sees one day when he's running away from school. I ran away from school. So it's about this small boy growing up, and he's meeting this old lady who tells him a story about her life and this young man that she meets when she's young, and this white lion. I called it The Butterfly Lion, and if you want to know why, read the book. This will always be my finishing line, read the book. Butterfly Lion, yeah, try it.
I have read that book. That was the first one I read.
Oh, good. I'm pleased. That's great.
Very slim and unintimidating. It was brilliant.
Good. There we are. That's the second recommendation. Now you must.